Hi, Bruce from Safiery. Just before we ship this system out, I'm just stepping through a couple of features here in this lifestyle pack. And so let me just get into a position where you can see the screen better. So you can see the starter battery on the front, you can see the house battery if you wish, or the auxiliary battery in the rear here, which is 400 amp hours of lithium, the tank here, the temperature inside the case here. And as we step through this display here, we will show the inverter power and the overall control power that we're running on here for lights, switches, pumps, fridges and what have you. And we're showing the solar power if the solar's plugged in. That's the starter battery. That's the tank level that we've got in the back there. And then that's the temperature that we've got in the back in the electrical compartment. So they're the levels that we've got in there. We just go back and we go back to where we started from. Now also on this model, we've got the pull-out drawer below the fridge here. Has got the white cutting board in it. Notice the little recess, it's food grade, a little recess in there, and you can just slide that back, get out of there whatever you want out of the bottom, slide it back again, just put your fingers at the top. So the idea in this board is it just slides so you can get access to plates and cutlery underneath. And this side here is the double induction coming out. And then a little bit more detail over here. So this is the power inlet, so that if you're in a caravan park or at home, you can plug the 15 amp power in. And this 15 amp power outlet here that you see is to plug a caravan in. So you plug the caravan in there and run it. And then we've got these GPOs here are for the induction, and we've got USB above, and then we've got outlets down the bottom here, USB and a cigarette type outlet. So, and then there's an additional 3 open drawers on the top. This side here lifts off, and we just pull that off like that, and in there would go your recovery gear. So when this is fitted to the vehicle, it's all open, or the compressor is in there in LC200. This side here doesn't lift off. The top here will also unscrew if you wish, so that will also come off. And then on the top here, you can put your chairs and table on the top. And coming around to the side here, you can see the electrical pack. It's all totally sealed here, isolated. That's all cable tied on. These lights here are for the rear light and for the rock light underneath. That's for the solar input. Water tank in the rear here. That's a 40-litre tank with the sensor in the top to measure the quantity of water left. And then in the back here, gives you a good idea, we've got 335 amp hour lithium batteries here. These are high temperature lithium batteries that we've got. And so that's the equivalent to 405 amps that you see coming in here. And the 3 different inputs you see on this first battery that you've got here is the inverter that we've got coming in here. We've got the main isolator switch at the top up here. And then we've also got the killer wasp coming in here. So that it's 80 amps coming from the alternator. That's 1,000 watts of charge. And this is a little sense wire we've got here coming in. So the actual alternator cable comes in here, a little sense wire, so we can see what the alternator voltage is. 3,000 watt inverter at the back, so that will run most of the inductions. In fact, it will run most appliances in there, including the new big pizza oven. Solar at the top here. Down here we've got the black bridge device, and these are all the switched outputs that you see here. This is our voltage sense up here. And we do one thing, we don't switch the fridge. So what we've got on the fridge is a permanent fuse, permanent power on, and you turn the fridge on and off at the fridge, because I've learned through the 30 odd years of experience not to trust these switches in case someone accidentally bumps them. And suddenly you've lost your whole fridge. It's a disaster. Down here is the RCBOs. There we always label them, AC in, AC out, that you can see here. There's 2 AC outs here. One's a 15 amp for the caravan in the back, and the other's for the lifestyle case in the front, and that's for the power coming in. And these batteries are held into position, and that's there's actually potentially a bit of storage in here. I don't think there'd be any difficulty in putting a soft bag in here. It'd have to be soft, no metal at all, even though we've got all the metal covers covered here. But a soft bag could go in there, and definitely quite a bit of gear could go in there. You could pack towels in there and other things in here above the water tank. There's quite a bit of space in there for you to go. And this one down the bottom here is the chassis negative, so that just drops down to the chassis negative. And we ship it out like this. We disconnect the battery here. It's the only thing we do when it ships out. And of course, water tank empty. and so that when you go to install it, all you've got to do is hook this up and run the chassis negative and run the alternator positive into here. Because this is 80 amps, you probably only need a 50 mil squared, could be a 70 depending on the length of the run coming in here, so that we get maximum power coming through it. The fridge vents on this side here and also on this side here where we got the grill. So the fridge is coming through to the back here in the air-conditioned vehicles, so that fridge will run really, really efficiently. I have to say, how good's that?